Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of That Podcast. My name is Ryan Jakey, and I am joined by Sarah DeYoung and Pastor DJ Lura. What's happening? It's still hot.
Yeah. Yep.
We talked about that last time. It's still hot.
It is toasty.
Live in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just concerned. It's June when we're recording this, talking about how it's over 100.
Mm-hmm.
What's August?
I don't know.
What's end of July?
I'm going on vacation in August, so
I'm still blown away that. Well, I'm still blown away that it like froze in May. So
yeah,
come August, I mean, who knows? It could be like 99 below with wind chill.
True.
99 below
with wind chill.
With wind chill.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're talking.
It's
like
actually 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Just so cold.
So
the wind.
I have a question for Sarah then.
Mm-hmm.
Did this recent heat wave in any way influence your new fashion sense?
Yeah. I have a new obsession, and it's with Skorts. And
Wasn't that an 80s thing?
It was a 2000s because I wore them as a child. And I have literally told every single person that I talk to that asks about my Skorts, I don't know why we stopped wearing these, because it is the relaxedness of a skirt or a dress, but also with shorts underneath.
It's like the mullet of pants.
But better. Those are also coming back.
Party in the back?
Yeah. And last week
Did you just say mullets are coming back?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mullets should only be on hockey players.
I've seen them on wrestlers as well.
Baseball players also have them.
That's...
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a thing, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a mullet in 5th grade.
Really?
Yep. And I realized by 6th grade why my mom allowed me to have a mullet and why it was such a bad idea. See, my mom didn't use physical discipline on my brother and me because we were bigger than her by that time. But she had a different technique. She would look at us, and if we got a little mouthy with her, she'd put her hand on our shoulder, and then all of a sudden the hand would go just to the back of the head, and she'd just wrap her finger around one of those little rat tails.
Yeah.
And the trick was you pull up.
Yeah.
And down.
Ooh.
And you go up on your toes and straight to the ground, and suddenly it's like, yes, mother, I will go clean my room.
My mom had a similar one, but it was always, she would come up and she'd just rub your back, and it's when you just got a little mouthy or something, and always in public. And she'd, oh, nice, my mom just wants to rub my back, give me a hug, and she'd wrap her arm. And then she'd pinch, like, the extra skin on your tricep.
Yep, get that arm skin.
Get your acting right real quick.
All mothers are pressure point masters.
Yeah.
They're crafty.
So by 6th grade, I made sure to basically, I had it shaved up nice, high and tight on the sides. High and tight.
Yep.
A little bit on top, but high and tight on the sides.
She'd go back to the ear then?
She'd go to the thump.
Ooh, you got a flick?
You just got a flick, and that was enough. Nice. And she had a look. Yeah. She had a look that would like burn your stomach, like laser beams coming out. As a kid, I can remember my brother and I getting in trouble because my mom was every church we went to, she was choir director, and she would be the organist. She would, she was very musically gifted, and I can remember we were at some type of Christmas concert. I think I was in I was probably 6 or 7, and we were in the balcony with the pastor's kids, just me, my brother, and the pastor's 2 sons. And we were running all over the place in the midst of this concert, thinking no one can see what we're doing, and glanced over the side. And when my brother, it's almost like she didn't have to say anything. The choir was singing. She just looked up at us, and both me and my brother just sat right down right there. And it's like, oh, we are so dead.
Yeah, you know that look. I
don't remember anything after that concert.
You don't remember anything after the concert?
No, because that's when I got in trouble.
Okay.
I sat in place.
Okay.
And I just, the thought was running through my head, I am doomed. I don't remember what happened with the rest of the concert. And then after that, I got punished, and I don't remember anything after that. So just all blank.
Yeah, man.
So DJ, you're not going to join in on the mullet trend coming back?
No, I have too many inner scars, emotional scars, and it's making the back of my neck tingle as we're talking about it. Like I want to scratch back my neck.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go back there either.
You had a mullet too?
I did briefly. It was, I mean, everybody did. I think you had to. It was,
Yeah.
You're a nerd otherwise.
Yeah.
You didn't have a mullet.
People made fun of you.
Yep.
You nerd.
Yep.
Geek.
So, yeah. So
What
now,
an interesting time to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Can't relate.
times are different
Greatest
then.
decade. Greatest decade.
Times are different then. You know, like you just did things that you look back on and that made no. Why would you ride a bike with no shoes on with the sharp pedals?
Right.
But you just did it.
You just did it.
Yeah.
There was no safety rules. There was no. That was like they didn't even have seatbelt laws at that time.
Well, right. Yeah, you stand between the front seats. I remember that, resting an elbow on each seat, standing there looking out the windshield.
I remember going on
flying
trips,
down the highway,
going on trips and sleeping in the back window.
Wasn't it the worst?
shelf.
The worst was trying to sleep on the floor in the back seat, and you had the stupid hump there where the transmission is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why do they got this stupid hump here? This is a perfect spot to sleep.
Made no sense.
No, it didn't. Now the transmissions are up front, so you don't have to worry about that in a car.
Yeah, but there wasn't even really a fear of like endangerment to kids like it is today.
No.
I mean, I can remember when they started putting missing kids on milk cartons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My
Trash
mom
bags.
would tell us
Or
early in the morning, like 7 a.m., go outside
yeah.
and don't come back.
Yeah. Would you just leave?
Go play.
Yeah.
Go get,
Yeah, here's some matches and fireworks. Go have fun.
Well, and I live in a town of 1,000 people, so it's not like I could get up to any. I couldn't get into trouble because everyone knew me.
Oh yeah. There was no. Yep.
So you weren't really in danger in any way. That
you didn't need security cameras at that time because the
neighbors.
Yeah, the security cameras are walking and talking.
Well, and you have the 10 Commandments, right? And then of course you have the 11th, which if the first 10 don't get you, the 11th will, right?
Yeah.
What would the neighbors think?
Yep. What would the neighbors think? Yeah.
And anyone could punish me. It didn't matter who. It didn't,
Oh, right.
Any adult could be like,
Yeah.
DJ Laura.
Yep. Whap upside
Oh
the
yeah.
head. For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did I tell your mother?
Yep. Jumping ditches with a 3-wheeler. Do you ever do that? That was fun. Nope. Looks like that's a no.
My lawyer has told me neither to agree or deny
Plead the fifth.
in case it would incriminate me.
Yeah, they don't make them anymore, do they?
3-wheelers? No, they
you
were too
can't
dangerous.
Yeah, you can't buy a 3-wheeler.
They made 4-wheelers, and then they made what's that motorcycle? The Spider. Where now they have the 3-wheeler correctly. The 2 wheels are in the front.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a 3-wheeler?
Nope.
Oh man.
They rolled so many. I mean, so many people rolled in those.
Oh,
things.
I rolled over on one before. Thankfully I blasted myself off of it so it didn't land on me. But yeah, I'll look one up for you.
Like a trike?
Oh, hold on.
It's like an ATV, a 4-wheeler.
Okay.
But it was like a
wheels.
trike. It had 2 wheels in the back and one in the front. Like a trike.
Yeah.
That was going like 40 miles per hour. And you would try to turn and it's just nope.
Oh, they
Do you
were
ever
fast.
sometimes think
Physics
back,
would
like,
disagree with you.
Whenever I hear stories from like the 80s, especially like my dad and his buddies talking about stuff, how are there still so many people of that generation alive? Like you all must have started with 10 times the amount that are currently living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks safe.
That looks So I have a picture here.
Oh, that's nice.
If you don't know, just look up ATV 3-wheeler, go to images, you'll find a picture of what we're talking about.
Didn't they outlaw those at some point?
They may have. Because then
the 4-wheelers.
Because like my grandparents had, I don't know if it was really a racing one, but we called it a racing one. Like there's this one that I just showed you, but then there were the souped up ones with the suspension package and everything on.
Oh yeah.
Those guys
roll bar.
I don't remember if there was a roll bar or not, but those guys would fly up and down the gravel road.
Yeah.
Gravel.
I didn't have a 3-wheeler, but I did have what were they called? Hot Wheels. It was like for little kids.
the
and
mini
you
bike?
pedaled.
Oh yeah, was it Big Wheel?
A big wheel.
Yeah, Big Wheel.
I jumped through some ditches in a big wheel. I'll admit that.
Yeah. You got like 3 feet of air that time.
Wow.
Yep.
That was when BMX was a big thing too, and we would try to do all like the BMX tricks and just get hammered.
Yep. And yeah.
Ruin yourself.
Yep. Fall down on the gravel and skin your knee. It's great.
It's good times.
You don't want to go back.
Tougher for it.
And you're bringing this back. You're part of.
It starts with the Skorts and the mullets.
And the mullets. Yep.
You know, now though, kids are starting to bring back some early 2000s stuff. And I feel like I spend too much time on the internet because I saw a couple like TikTok videos of people like, ugh, imagine being a teenager in 2013. That's not that long ago.
Welcome to adulthood, Sarah.
I saw it. I put my phone down. I was like, all right.
Yep.
I think it was.
I need to leave.
It was in my mid-20s where it just dawned on me that it's like kids these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't get it.
Oh, we could have fun doing all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're bringing back the flip phone now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like it's not a 2000 flip phone, but
is it like an iPhone with a
isn't
flip
Samsung
case?
doing it?
Yeah, it's like a smartphone that folds up. Yeah.
The phone itself folds up. Oh, that's
Yeah.
way cooler. I mean, in my head, I'm picturing like just like
A
a
case.
It's not
like
a motor.
razor.
No,
A razor.
no,
It's kind of like the.
Motorola.
Did you ever see for a while they made attachments for your phone? Like instead of headphones to talk on the phone, it was literally like a plug-in and then a handheld phone. You just like a regular telephone.
That really didn't catch on, did it?
No.
No.
I don't know why that didn't last.
What is? Wait, say that again.
So it was essentially like some people, you know how you use headphones like to talk on the phone? Like you plug your headphones in, you can talk through them. Yeah. It was basically like that, but instead of 2 earbuds or headphones, it was a phone, like a pickup phone.
It
I don't know how to.
Seems redundant.
I'm doing
doesn't it?
hand motions that people listening can't see.
What, did it have like a slinky cord?
Yeah.
Like the old school phones.
Yep. And then it gets the bad curl in there, so you got a nice spiral until you get to that one that's backwards. You try to fix it, but
Oh wow! So that's great. That actually heartens me deep down that these old retro things are like becoming cool again and being accepted by the youth of this day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's hope for them yet.
Yeah. The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Grass is always greener in a different decade. Yep.
Probably.
So mullets, Skorts, and silly string phones are coming back.
Yep. So do they? Can you just go anywhere in town and buy those, or do you have to go to like Sarah DeYoung's liturgical Skort shop?
I have not made a website for them yet, but soon.
Okay.
Soon.
So this is a thing. Was there like a Skort drought where, I mean, is this just a recent came back, or were they always there? They just sort of were
I don't know.
The shamed section of.
I feel like it was probably there for like people who play tennis and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Or like for like a purpose, but not just like I remember growing up. It was like, oh, like here's the section in JCPenney next to all the half sweatshirts and camisoles. Skorts, like every color, every fabric, multiple options, and now they're coming back. And
see, this whole conversation and cultural trends really encourage hoarding.
Oh yeah,
because why get rid of anything? Because in 20 or 30 years, you're going to be cool again.
Well, and not only that, but how much stuff have you gotten rid of that you could have sold right now for a lot of money?
Right.
Like your old rubber Hulk Hogan. Remember where he's got
That's
he's
the pose.
Flexing like that.
Making the pose.
And he's got, and he's like squatting a little bit, and then you played with him enough where the back of his knee is ripping.
Yep. Gigantic pieces of rubber.
They were. And you could get Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. And,
Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah.
The Junkyard Dog had a like a dog collar.
I don't remember if I had a JYD or not.
Yeah,
I had a lot of them. And then remember the ring? The ring was huge. The
bigger than this table.
The ring was huge. Yeah.
The only hard part though is like those things are worth a lot of money, but then the things that people said would be Beanie Babies.
Right.
I went to McDonald's the other day and they have them as the like Happy Meal toys, Beanie Babies again, but they're not called Beanie Babies.
Oh,
they're like Beanie Babies by the like TY company.
Oh,
They have
really?
a different name.
So when Beanie Babies first came out, they were really valuable. And then,
Yeah.
of course, that led to huge demand and so huge supply, and that brings down the cost of this stuff. And so they're probably the original Beanie Babies. They just remarketed them because they have so many in storage somewhere.
Right, there's a ton of them. Like, remember Tickle Me Elmo? Remember that phenomenon? Holy moly, you want to talk about... I think people died over a Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was riots in malls.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear an Addie story?
All right. I'm actively moving my microphone away.
Tickle Me Elmo was when Addie was 2, and that was like, okay, that's the big toy. And so it wasn't her birthday. It wasn't Christmas. I just happened to be at Walmart, and I'm walking along checking stuff out, and I see the new Tickle Me Elmo. It didn't just ha 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 ha. He like would go into fits of laughter if you do it more than one time. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna be the greatest dad ever. Greatest dad ever. You look in, you search greatest dad on the internet. It's this guy right here with 2 thumbs pointing this way. And so I got one, right? And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so great. I go home. She may have been 3, but she was a toddler. And I get this. I'm like, Addie, I have something for you. She's so excited, right? And I pull it out, and there's Elmo in the box. And she's just like, oh, Elmo. And so I take it out of the box, and I put in the batteries, get it all set.
Worst move you could have made.
I hit the button, and you see this thing's mechanical arm go up and down, slapping its leg, going, ah, ha, 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 ha. Her eyes become as big as saucers, and she runs. She's about 3 feet away from it. She runs up to it, kicks it in the chest. It goes flying across the living room, and she screams, and she runs out of the living room. And our house at that time was U-shaped. She ran out of the living room, around the corner, like slid sideways, got back up, ran into her bedroom. All I hear is the door slamming. I'm still sitting there with my mouth open with Tickle Me Elmo on the ground going, hee hee hee. And my toddler has like sprinted out of the room. I hear this slam, and then I hear this other door open up, and I hear a smaller slam. And so I walk over there, and I'm like, what in the world just happened? She just ninja kicked Elmo across the room. I open her bedroom door. She's nowhere to be found. I look at her closet, and I open the closet, and there she is at the bottom of the closet, just like shaking. Like, I'm like, Addie, do you want to go play with Elmo? No. Put Elmo in the box. Elmo in the box. Put Elmo in the box. So Elmo went back in the box, and that's where Elmo stayed, and he never came out again. And Elmo was only cool as long as he was in the box. If he came out of the box, oh no. So yeah, Tickle Me Elmo was a traumatizing experience for my eldest daughter that she's probably going to need therapy for, about how horrible her father is for bringing this animatronic into her house.
If it makes you feel any better, though, I have a similar story with my friend Alyssa's daughter, Parker, who she's almost 3 now, but she's probably 1.5, always loved Frozen. So we found like an Olaf that danced and sang. And it was fine if it was just sitting there. But when he started dancing and singing, she tackled him to the ground to make him like, stop. That was her way of like, nope, he needs to stop this. Did that. And it continued with like, so like, okay, maybe she just wants to like one that doesn't dance. So we got her stuffed animal one.
Tackled
Olaf every time. So like, we'd be like, okay, Parker, we need to be nice to Olaf. To this day, she still tackles Olaf. She's like, I'm scared to take her to Disney at all because she'll see him and just turn into a linebacker.
To this day, she's now 34. Sees Olaf
just trigger something. Deep memory.
So winter when people have snowmen on, she just goes over and just tackles the snowman.
So what happened to Elmo?
Oh, Elmo went into the trash.
Okay.
At some point, because when those things stop working and you don't want to replace the batteries and your kids are too old and they're like because the batteries are so worn down.
So did she eventually warm up to him?
No.
So so you didn't repurpose it or like put it on the eBay at all?
Oh, I'm sure it probably went to Goodwill or something. If it still was usable, that's what we would have done with it. If it was trash, we would have,
after the karate kick, arms broken,
head flying off. But Reese didn't like him either. I remember,
so you had him around for a while.
A couple years, yeah. But he was in the box.
He was probably just still in pristine condition, minus the dent from the karate kick.
Yeah, he's like,
but the box was just like fragments,
like Prospector from Toy Story.
He got to go to the tea party with Dora the Explorer and the other stuffed toys, but he had to stay in his box.
That's funny. My grandparents had it was the weirdest thing, because it was like in a felt bag that has like the drawstring, so you can cinch it up tight.
Yep.
It was a box like your noisemaker that you have, but it just did one noise. You would press it, and it was like a maniacal laugh.
Oh, really?
Do you remember this thing? I think.
Oh yeah. I do remember those things. Yes.
And it would go on forever. It was looking back on it now, it was like
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's like Furbies.
But we played with that thing all the time.
Oh.
No.
That's the one I wanted.
Yeah, so there was a lot of weird things, but so anyway.
Yeah, it's a laughing bag or whatever it was.
Yeah, yep. So now all those kids are grown up. Not all the way grown up. Some of them are grown up.
Emotional, psychological scars.
The 80s, the 80s kids for sure. All grown up. So, I have a question.
Sure.
Speaking of grown-up kids, it is now, what day did you say it was? You said we're into June.
June 11th.
June 11th. So there's graduation parties out of the way and kids out of the, grown up, maybe not out of the house, but they're going to be
for college.
Getting ready for college.
Yep.
Some may be moving away. Some might be hanging out, whatever, wherever life leads them.
Yep. New adventure.
Yep. Sometimes those kids decide, you know what, Mom and Dad, I'm grown up now. You can't make me go to church, and I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
That's tough.
Oh, totally.
That's tough.
And I wish I could say that it was rare, but it's actually fairly common. Mm-hmm. This is something that churches and parents have struggled with for years, decades. Speaking of the 80s, I mean, this was not out of the ordinary in the 80s either.
Right.
And coming from the Lutheran tradition, one thing that we do is we confirm around the 13, 14, 15 year age. Mm-hmm. Well, historically, since basically the 70s, so 50 years, what happens is confirmation has taken on this understanding of like a graduation from the faith. And we have this great chasm where we don't have young men after age 15 until about age 35. Mm-hmm. That's a common occurrence, that they just disappear and we don't see them again until, they have kids of their own. Mm-hmm. We're better with young women. They'll stick around until about the age of 19. Yeah. But then we don't see them again until 32.
Right.
So, I mean, you are a unicorn, Sarah. Yes. So at first it's like, oh, so at least you had your kids sticking around through high school. That's great.
Yep.
What's the answer? There is really no silver bullet aside from relationship making within the church, aside from just mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of late to be like, all right, well, now my kid's saying they don't want to come to church. What do I do? Well, don't panic. Pray for your kids. Understand that part of adulthood is letting them come to see the value of the faith. You're still the parent. I had kids of my own, and my mom was still parenting me. And my dad still parents me. Yeah. That doesn't go away. And it's totally your right to be worried about them. But what do you do with that worry? You pray. Mm-hmm. Pray, give it to God, and, be a little bit of the law to them. You really should be going to church. Mm-hmm. It's not like when they lived, especially if they don't live under your roof anymore. It's not like when they were prior to confirmation where it's like, get up, we're going to church. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many parents struggle with that? I get the struggle, but what you are instilling in your kids is the importance of faith, the importance of their faith community. What we need to do to build a bridge across that chasm from 15 to 35 for young men and 19 to 32 for young women is instill relationships and a purpose for them in your church long before that.
Right.
So at 16, 17, 18, they should already feel like they have their own identity in their church that's separate from mom and dad because they're involved in some way, shape, or form. That's how you do it. It's a bit of work on parents' part in advance, but it's instilling on the kids, up until they leave your house. We got youth group, you're going to youth group. They need people to help with this at church, you're going to go help.
Right.
Those are fights earlier, but those are fights where you have, as a parent, a bit more sway than when they're 19.
Yeah.
Because once they're out of the house, it's like, well, I hope that you've given them enough to make good decisions. But the fact of the matter is, people are going to make bad decisions, more so once they leave the protection of their parents' home.
Yep.
But hopefully you've instilled enough of the faith and right and wrong in them that they'll make more good decisions than bad. Because I mean, it's that time. It's that 20-something time where we're
trying to spread their wings a little bit, and
and hopefully they'll not making decisions that are gonna ruin their life.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you see people come back a lot of times when they have their own kids, and so I think that in itself is sort of a testimony maybe to the parents. Even though the kids strayed for a while, they still had that instilled in them that it's important for me now to bring my kids rather than not coming back at all.
Right. When do you really become an adult? Not when you're 18, but when you have to take care of somebody else. That's when you suddenly are like, okay, I have someone in my life who's more important than I am, and I need to take care of them. That's really when you become an adult.
Right.
And so it's not devil may care, I'm an invincible 19, 20, 21-year-old. Suddenly you're like, okay, so what really matters? I have this little person in my life. I'm talking specifically about parenting,
Yep.
Suddenly the faith becomes something of great value again. Partly because it's what you were given when you were younger.
Right.
Probably.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you want to fix the problem, and like I said, there's no silver bullet, there's no magical program. It's building those relationships outside of just the relationship with parents, with other adults.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. You see that it's is it the Orange Group that talks about sticky faith?
Yep.
Having 5 adults for one child. And that adult, a lot of times, sure, 1, maybe 2 is mom and dad, but it's really important to get adults who are not mom or dad.
Right.
That the kid, can see, oh, okay, this guy or this woman likes Jesus too.
But not only that, though, but that this person has taken an interest in me.
Right.
They care about me. So church isn't just mom and dad's church and I go to it. It becomes my church family as well. That isn't really ingrained in confirmation. And maybe there's something to go back to that. I mean, because confirmation has become so connected with like a graduation from the faith, that's why you see this huge drop off, and we have to find ways to change that to, no, this isn't dropping off in the faith. You're actually affirming your faith, which means you're making a commitment to practice the marks of discipleship, to be in worship, to read your Bible, to pray for every day, be in conversation with God, be in relationship with God, love your neighbor, take care of your neighbor, serve your neighbor, use the gifts that God has given you, your time, your talents, and your treasure for the sake of the gospel. This is what you're confirming. That's its intention. And so we need to find ways to move it away from this idea that this is a graduation.
Right. Yeah.
And again, it has to do with those relationships that connect a young person to the life of the church, that they have a place there, that it's their place, that will move them across that 19, 20, 21 black hole of only seeing them maybe as CEOs, Christmas and Easter only, when they go back to mom and dad's and we're going to church.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And, you know, just like you said, keep loving them and keep going to church yourself and, you know, being that witness to you know.
You're exactly right. I mean, it's that witness. And here's the thing about a parent going to church and even saying to their kid, hey, you should go to church. They're going to hear it as law. They're going to hear it as law until they hear it as gospel. They're going to hear it as being convicted until it's good news.
Yep.
Well, when does it become good news? When, hey, you should go to church becomes, hey, I want to go to church.
Yeah.
Your have to becomes a want to.
Right.
And so parents, there's times that you have to be the law because you are their primary preacher, more so than the pastor or any program that's going on at the church. It's parents that pass on the faith, more so than anybody else.
Right. And I would also say to some of those parents, take an interest in some kids that go to the church and witness that way as well, developing those relationships. And in doing that, not only will you be witnessing to your own kids, but you'll also be part of that sticky faith that Orange talks about, where now you are, you know, a person for somebody who's not your kid growing up and you know, being in that relationship too.
In my head, I'm like, the devious mind of me is like, yeah, and you'll make your kids jealous because you're giving attention to someone else's kid, and they're gonna want to be there too.
And there's nothing that grinds on your own kid more than seeing other kids who think they might be cool.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Hey guys, I want to take a minute to shine a light on an organization that's been a staple in the Fargo-Moorhead community for over 30 years, Churches United. Through the generosity of volunteers and donors, Churches United is able to provide shelter, stable housing, nutritious food, and a path toward healing for those who are hungry and homeless in the FM area. Churches United began as a single location, and through the generosity and help of people like you, has grown and expanded into 1 permanent housing location, 2 shelters, and 2 food pantries. And between those 5 sites, Churches United can support over 425 individuals per day. To learn more about how you can support our neighbors in need, visit www.churchesunited.org. That's www.churchesunited.org. Now, back to the show.
Speaking of that, mission trips coming up real soon.
Yeah, mission trips. We're less than 48 hours away now from the first one in about 23 months.
Well, and you guys are going to the wilderness of Minnesota. COVID's been going on for so long. Is it just all completely grown over with trees? I mean, people have been...
Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah. It's actually about 30 degrees cooler there.
Really?
Which I'm really looking forward to.
Duluth is beautiful in all aspects.
I haven't been there in such a long time.
Actually, today I've been tracking the weather now because, you know, we're going there soon. So what do we pack? What should we encourage others to pack? That sort of thing. Yeah. Today, right now, they have, I forget what is it, a beach warning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Watch out if the waves are like 6 or 7 feet high, and so they can wear a swimmer out really fast. So,
well, for anyone who's not from Minnesota, you betcha. Duluth is right on Lake Superior.
Yep.
So all those big lakes, and it is a big lake. It looks like the ocean. It reminds me of the Puget Sound.
You could just as well be at the ocean when you're by one of the Great Lakes looking out. You can't see the other side.
Right.
It's not even.
But it's even the smell in the air. It's not salty so much. It's not briny, but it just has that sea smell to it.
Yeah.
Like this is a like an ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that one does have like huge ships that go, like the National Guard protect Lake Superior.
Yeah, they have Coast Guard in there.
Against those Canucks,
You can't be too careful.
They seem all nice, but you just wait.
I'm going to start drafting up a reply for the hate mail coming in on that one.
Man.
Yeah,
Canada.
It's going to be fun. We're leaving Sunday. We'll be back Friday, and we're going to.
So have you just been like sleeping nonstop this week to charge up all of your batteries for middle schoolers and mission trip?
No, I've got a playlist to come up with. I mean, we're gonna have 5 hours of drive time. I can't disappoint. Yeah, well,
I liked Sarah's suggestion of you got church clap on repeat, and then like buttermilk biscuits at some point.
Buttermilk, buttermilk biscuits. The groove is in the heart. Little delight.
You should almost talk to Dana, who isn't here right now. We were talking about her mom's running playlist, and it goes like she has a certain number of songs, and then it just goes back to "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, because it's like her running pace is at that song. So you just got to set it up like that. Like so many songs, buttermilk biscuits. So many songs, church clap. So many songs, buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah.
Like reset the vibe.
Well, if you want to know whether or not teenagers are paying attention, play some music that they've never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
What did they just say?
And then try to play it again. You already played that one. Did I? Oh, you play dumb. Oh, I thought I hadn't played that yet.
I thought it was on the way here.
It was like 5 minutes ago. So yeah, we've got a group. We've got 13 students between 6th and 8th. Well, going into between 7th and 9th grade.
Right.
And then we've got 4 adults on the trip. And we're going to take 2 vans, and we're going to head out, and we're going to do service projects, and we're going to do worship and devotional time.
Is part of a service project Betty's Pies?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It should be.
It should be. I feel like
isn't it okay? So I've only been to Duluth one time, and we had to, and this could be, it was probably an error on my part, but we had to drive a long ways to find a Betty's Pies. Like it was out of town. It was some little shop on the side of the road.
Yeah.
That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's the best kind. That makes it worth it.
Yep.
It's like a quest.
It's actually on the way back from it's not Minnehaha Falls. What's out there? What are the falls that are out there?
Nothing.
There's like a park out there. There's a state park with waterfalls and hiking. It's on the way back from that.
Okay. Yeah, we
gotta go to Betty's Pies.
Tabitha and I did go there.
You're not saying Great Falls, are you?
No, I know I gotta look it up.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I've already got this hate mail reply drafted up, so I'm fine with this. All I remember about Betty's Pies was that it was out of town. And it was a long way to get there. I remember nothing about the pie.
The anticipation was killing you.
Right. And then like
next he's going to say, and then we had to sit there and wait for a table. It was the worst.
I apologize for this. So
are we just trying to offend people? You're offending Betty's Pies fans. I offended the great nation of Canada.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, what I should have said is the National Guard are there to protect the Wisconsinites from coming across and getting the Minnesotans.
Oh yeah, that's right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's right there too.
That's right
Gooseberry Falls is the...
Oh yeah, Gooseberry Falls, sure.
Yeah.
No, Ryan was probably just looking over the page and thinking, maybe we have a few too many listeners. Just tank it real quick.
Clean it out.
Yep. Clean house.
All right.
The diehards.
So I'm going down the ditch here again. But you talking about Wisconsin and Minnesota being right there together reminded me of a tweet that I saw, and I'm not going to remember it exactly, but it was something along the lines of the fact that Michigan has not reclaimed the Upper Peninsula is all I need to know about those cowards.
Wisconsin, I've seen that. Yep.
I don't think we have any listeners in Michigan, so.
We don't now.
Nope.
So, so we've got that one, and then we've got another one in July. Going to go to Minneapolis in July.
That's great.
Smaller group there, but it's still going to be good.
That'll be the high school ute.
That's the high school ute. Yep.
How do you get kids interested in wanting to go on mission trips?
That is a good question.
Beg, plead, bargain.
Well,
pizza,
I think
once they go, they're hooked. They got to go first.
Right. Once they go, they're hooked. It isn't a okay, it's May now, so next month we're going on a mission trip. Hey, come along. Mm-hmm. This is actually a years-long process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you'll start for 2022 in August. You'll start.
Right. But it's more than that, though. It's more than promoting a mission trip. It starts with relationships. Like the kids that are coming on this trip to Duluth, I've known them for years. They were little. They've known me since they were, some of them probably before they started school, right. And so that it's part of a process of developing these relationships and not just seeing them when I want to drum up business for a mission trip.
Sure.
It's like, a random Sunday in October. Hey, how you doing? How's school going? How's baseball or gymnastics or whatever? Yeah. And having these relationships with them, because it's a whole lot easier to drum up business when they know you and they trust you and their parents know you and trust you. Yes. And they're like, okay, I'm all right sending my kids along with this hooligan to
listen to church clap for 5 hours.
Right.
I think it's gotten, I don't know. I don't know if I can say it's gotten better or worse, but I remember being a youth minister a couple decades ago in the Twin Cities. Mm-hmm. And it seemed fairly easy to get kids to go on trips because it was part of the identity of that congregation. Mm-hmm. But I think it's gotten harder now where it's exactly what you said, where relationships have to be built early rather than just, hey, we're going to go. The place I was serving, they were kind of known for, we go on these amazing trips and we go all over the place. And that, whereas, a lot of places don't have those kind of resources to do that. Mm-hmm. And really a mission trip is it's going to be fun, but it's also, it's a spiritual experience.
Oh, for sure.
Not just like a vacation.
Yeah. And to continue, I'll get back to that, but to continue on with that though, the high school trip, as I said, it's a little lighter this year, but I don't want to try to come up with excuses, but COVID made it difficult in the fact that, unfortunately, there are some kids who are still trying to catch up, and summer school has really become a sort of a.
Well, I would add to that, and that's kind of what I was saying about 20 years ago compared to now, is that 20 years ago kids were incredibly scheduled. Mm-hmm. It's way worse now. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sports. There's
so many things that are competing along with mission trip opportunities.
Right. And I know for a fact that our high school trip would be doubled were it not for summer school. Mm-hmm. For sure, summer school.
COVID.
And then yeah, there's the sports things, and the COVID deal has made it where people are able to get out now, and they're going to get out, and so vacations, families are going on vacations, and all that is great.
Yeah.
But so I think that we'll, there will be more. The trips, the high school trips will, the recruiting will
of course.
Will be there.
I think that's going to take care of itself because it's not quantity, it's quality. And with a smaller group, there's a greater relationship connection that happens as they serve together, as they have fun together, as they travel together. And that becomes contagious when they come back for the next one.
Absolutely. Those relationships that they build and the things that they experience. I was at a graduation party last night. And one of the girls who went on a trip 2 years ago, I was talking to her dad, and he said she still talks about that trip. Mm-hmm. It's 2 years ago, and in the life of an 18-year-old, 2 years is a long time,
A lot of life has happened there.
Yeah.
That's like an eighth of their life.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's I'm excited. They're always fun. You come home, you're tired, you're ready to be home, but they're so good that you're not home long before you're like, all right, where are we going next?
Yeah, any mission trip experience that I've had, all of them that I can remember, from when I was a teenager myself to being able to chaperone or lead a group, you're changed. Mm-hmm. You come back changed. And there is a little bit of an adjustment coming back.
It's like almost a counterculture shock.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
But every time, I mean, it's not like you're aware of it the next time around, but then you go on the trip and you come back and you're like, man, there was some amazing stuff happening.
Yeah. And no matter how often you do those things, you're still going back to you're going to help people, and you're helping people who need the help, and so you're seeing things that are going to move you, you're like, I guess I got it pretty good at home. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that, this is somebody's every day.
Right.
When you and then you come back and you're like, part of you still stuck there going, man, that person woke up today,
right,
the exact same as they woke up every day last week while I was there.
Yeah.
I
was just thinking about like our tagline here at Atonement. In confirmation, the entire process from the moment you're baptized until confirmation, you're learning how and why you should love God. Mm-hmm. The mission trip is where you learn how to love people and why, and you begin to want to. Mm-hmm. And hopefully in that process, it moves from I have to, well, I have to, it's like, I have to love my brother, he's my brother. I have to love God, he's my God. The mission trip, it becomes a want to, because of, you see God working, and the amount of love that God has for us, it wants to pour out of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it just changes you.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So like I said, that's the first time in 2 years, almost 2 years that we're going on a mission trip.
I really like that you guys are staying local in Minnesota. You're close to home, so it's problems that I feel like you will run into across the country, but seeing it close to home, I think, is going to have
in your own backyard,
larger impact.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, Minneapolis is that's going to be interesting. Going to Minneapolis. Most of the work that we're going to be doing is going to be in the suburban areas. Not in downtown Minneapolis or anything like that. But I don't want to be frank about it. The reason that COVID also limited where we decided to go for mission trips, because at the time we were booking them, we didn't know, do we dare book plane tickets?
Well, and the previous ones weren't that much further away, but it was going to be Chicago and Milwaukee.
Right.
And we had to cancel those because of the beginning of the pandemic.
Those were going to be last year, yeah. And it would have been nice to go to both of them again. But sort of the thinking was, okay, and this is right smack in the middle of COVID when, you have to think about all these things. And the thought was, all right, let's say we go to Chicago. Okay, we're in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Now we've got a kid who has COVID symptoms. Mm-hmm. We can't just put them on a plane because they're not going to let them fly home.
Right.
Mom and Dad going to come get them.
That's a long
trip.
That's
a long drive to come and pick.
I think these are the right locations for this season, and it's Holy Spirit led. It's none of these decisions are made on the fly.
Right.
There's a lot of thought and a lot of prayer that goes into it, and then it's planned like a year in advance.
Right. Yeah.
Based on the circumstances that we have.
Yeah.
And I think for this season, Minneapolis and Duluth are the right places. That's where you need to be.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, if I had it my way, I'd go back to San Francisco again.
Sure.
So just go every year, So, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you guys going next year?
I don't know.
The discernment begins.
Yeah.
And
let's go to Nashville. I don't know. We'll see. You coming along?
Maybe.
I'm going to put Sarah on the spot right now. I want you to commit 2022.
Well,
You should go to Sioux Falls, then she'll be on board.
Sewer Falls.
Ow.
We haven't done that for.
No, we haven't made that joke in a while. You know,
I
actually, it'd
apologize.
be the prime time.
3 emails to send back already. What's that?
Now would be the prime time to go to Sioux City. There's no, for the first time in like 40 years, there's no construction on I-29 to Sioux City.
I've never been through there. Really?
Yep. First
What
time,
happened?
no construction. They finally finished the project they've been working on.
It's like the Denver International Airport.
Yeah,
Been working on that forever.
that's a sore subject.
Yikes.
Where are they digging tunnels to there?
Secret government projects
Yep.
deep underground.
I don't know, but I had to fly through there for my vacation to Phoenix. I will avoid Denver like the plague.
I still kick myself for not just splurging and saying, all right, we'll pay you I think they wanted $80 to put together the footage of us running from one end of Denver International to the other to catch a
They probably
catch a
still
plane.
have it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Years later? This is 2 years later.
Haven't you ever watched like a crime investigation show?
That's TV, Sarah.
No. It's got to be based off some truth.
That's what they're building underneath there. That's
Yeah.
what all those tunnels are.
Big database for all the
storage.
people that had to run back and forth from one
That's
end.
right.
If you look, the room on your left is people wiping out on the like walking treadmill things, the like moving,
Yeah.
and then on your right will be people running through the airport.
They're getting prepared for whenever America's Funniest Home Videos becomes a show again.
Once they get Tom Bergeron back, they're going to submit all of them. Alfonso isn't cutting it.
Yeah, instead of taking a walk in the dog park, it'll be taking a look at DIA. So, all right.
So you don't know where you're going yet next year.
No.
When will you know?
Probably
Later.
Real specific over there.
After a time of discernment in Duluth,
Yeah.
it'll come.
We'll know later.
With your feet in the ice cold Lake Superior.
International. Maybe we'll go international.
There you go.
What do you think of international?
Well, you
I
just
think
offended the Canadians, so you
Yeah,
can't get in
we gotta
there.
go to Canada.
Yeah, so we won't be allowed. You're not allowed in yet. At this point, it is June the 11th. You can't go into Canada yet.
Oh, okay.
Still got it shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever been on any international mission trips? Either of you?
Gosh. It's kind of neat that I have to actually think, how many trips have I been on? No, I have not been overseas.
Okay. Sarah? No?
We were supposed to do Paris a couple years back, but dates never worked out.
Didn't work?
No.
Yeah. I am, I have a trip planned to Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what episode my cousin was on. Dell,
yeah.
yeah.
That was early
That was when
on.
we were in the old room.
Yeah, we were in the
I have to
other
think-
room at that time. Yeah.
Think about it in terms of what rooms we've been in.
The previous studio, not this nice one we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, that's the plan in January to go to Nicaragua. That will be I've been to Canada, but I don't really consider that out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized we have a camera in here. Are we recording this?
We're
video?
not. We're not. Then there's the teaser that will be coming, but I think we need to liven this room up a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not much to look at.
It's like half storage, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're gonna have to fix it up a little bit. We'll put Dana on that.
Welcome to that
Fixing it up?
podcast,
Yeah.
live from the storage room at Atonement.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is true. Yep.
Get Dana and get Tara in here too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Tara's real
man,
good.
yeah. There we go.
Tara, Amy, and Dana.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
I think that's the way to go.
Be the
This
best room in the church.
place would look fantastic.
oh, yeah.
So, all right. I guess that's all we have for today. Sarah, would you mind praying us out of here?
Sure.
All right.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. And Lord, I just want to lift up our middle schoolers and high schoolers that are preparing to go out on their mission trips, that you will just bless them and protect them, and that they see you on their trips wherever they go. And Lord, that they are able to be a blessing to the communities that they are going to. And I also lift that prayer up to anybody going out on mission trips or just in their daily life serving you, that people are able to be a light for you and people are able to see that in them. Lord, in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, if you are looking for a place to catch a service or even to Revelation Bible study,
Yes.
You can find Revelation Bible Study. You can find older episodes.
We just got started too, so anyone can come and be a part of that.
Won't take long to catch up. Nope. You can catch up on old episodes of that podcast. You can find services all on YouTube by searching Atonement Fargo. You can also watch us live on YouTube or at atonement.live or atonementfargo.org, 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. every Sunday. So for Sarah DeYoung and Pastor DJ Lura, my name is Ryan Janke. Join us next time for another riveting episode. She muted me.
No, I volumed you down.
That podcast.
Riveting episode.